this week's episode of Sailor Moon Crystal, the secrets of the legendary Silver Crystal are finally revealed. We also get to learn about the true connection between Sailor Moon and Princess Serenity. Apparently, Sailor Moon is the reincarnation of the ancient princess of the Moon Kingdom, and so are the Sailor Senshi. They happen to be reincarnates of the Sailor Senshi team that protected the Moon Kingdom. And that also brings us to Tuxedo Mask, who happens to be the reincarnated form of the first Prince of Earth, Endymion. And apparently Serenity and Endymion had some sort of relationship that was not supposed to happen according to the rules of God, at least according to Usagi, and at the same time, you had the people of Earth who were trying to take over the Moon Kingdom, and it's pretty obvious that Queen Beryl has been around for a long time. I don't know how she's been able to live for thousands of years or how long this has been going on, but it seems like Queen Metalia was sort of manipulating all of the events behind this whole destruction of the Moon Kingdom. In fact, Endymion was killed when he was trying to protect Serenity from Queen Beryl, and apparently it was her who actually killed him. That brings us back to the present, where Tuxedo Mask just took a huge blast from Kunzite, and he doesn't really seem to be all that damaged. He doesn't really even have a scratch on him whatsoever. But this massive turn of events has caused Sailor Moon to have a huge outburst and start crying, and her actual love and emotions for Tuxedo Mask have actually drawn out the power of the legendary Silver Crystal. And I'm not quite sure where they're going with this, but somehow the crystal goes inside of Tuxedo Mask's chest, and then there's also another physical crystal outside of his body. Queen Beryl thinks that it's inside of Tuxedo Mask, so they decide to capture him, and of course this just gives us an excuse for the Sailor Senshi to go to where she is and start kicking some ass. But what's really interesting is I'm guessing that maybe like the essence or the actual power of the legendary Silver Crystal is within Tuxedo Mask, but it's not a physical object. Whereas Sailor Moon actually has the physical crystal itself, and they need to literally combine the two, and it makes sense because they're both in love with each other. It just gives them an excuse to come together and draw out their real power. At least that's where I'm going with this. But the rest of the episode is essentially Usagi having to come to terms with the fact that she's a reincarnated princess. And, you know, this seems like the type of situation where, you know, if you just learned recently that you were, like, a reincarnated person from, like, an ancient kingdom, you'd think that'd be awesome. But at the same time, it's sort of conflicting with her actual real life. Even though she is the reincarnation of a princess, she's still Usagi Tsukino. She's still goofy and hilarious and fun to watch, and she doesn't want to give up who she really is and suddenly just throw that all away in order to become a princess again. And eventually she does realize, and with a little bit of a pep talk from her friends, that she can still be herself, but she now has some extreme responsibilities that she's going to have to live up to, and they're all going to back her up as much as they can, and this sort of like gets her out of this weird funk that she goes through the entire episode. And she's also going through a very strange growth spurt. Her hair, in particular, is growing long and glowy and silvery, very similar to the Serenity that we saw in all of the backstory and, you know, flashbacks in all the other previous parts of the series. Other things, though, that I didn't really like about the episode is the fact that Queen Beryl captured Tuxedo Mask, and they needed an excuse not to kill this guy, and basically it was because there still might be traces of the legendary Silver Crystal within him. They can't find it yet, and apparently even Tuxedo Mask has some sort of connection to Queen Beryl and her goons, especially Kunzite, because he starts to remember something, especially when he hears this guy's name, Endymion, and I can't wait to see what that connection is going to be. Otherwise, the episode ends with Luna and the Sailor Senshi getting ready to go to the moon. I can't wait to see how that's going to work, but otherwise, what's the rundown? On this week's episode of Sailor Moon Crystal, it was probably the best episode of the series. I know I say that with every single one that, you know, comes out, but it's the truth. This episode had the best animation, it had the best artwork, that was very apparent by the beginning of the episode. We're finally starting to get a lot of development for Sailor Moon and Usagi, and I love the fact that at the end she's finally starting to get really battle-hardened and realize that, you know, she's going to rely on her teammates and everything. That's cool, because that's the best thing about Sailor Moon, is the dynamic between the different members of the team. And even the Sailor Senshi at the beginning of the episode did a pretty number of cool moves, especially when they were attacking against Kunzite, but then Queen Beryl came in and just stopped all of them, which was kind of a shame. But still, this was a very heavy, emotional episode, which is very important for the development of Usagi's character, and I can't wait to see how Tuxedo Mask is going to tie into connecting to Queen Beryl's goons. Maybe they were originally people who lived on Earth as well. Maybe they were actually helping Queen Beryl in the attack against the Moon Kingdom. I'd love to know how everybody on Earth actually got to the moon and started to attack it as well. That's just very strange to me. It's the type of stuff you try not to think about because maybe they'll explain it later. But also, I just thought it was really funny seeing Luna and Artemis floating around in this hilarious little capsule, the kind you see at, like, banks all the time. Just something about that put a really weird smile on my face. But like I said, technical side of things, animation, artwork this week was really good. The music is still continuing to grow on me. It's very subtle and very kind of hard to hear unless you try to listen to it. But it has this, like, 90s vibe to it, and I said it before in a previous reviews, it definitely reminds me of Bruce Faulkner's music from Dragon Ball Z, and that just brings back memories of Toonami while watching this show. So, this was a really good episode. Sailor Moon is finally starting to realize her true purpose and goal. She's getting ready to go save Tuxedo Mask, we're going to the moon, big battles are getting ready to happen, and we're almost at 10 episodes of the series. This has definitely been one hell of a slow burner, but that's what happens when you have a bi-weekly anime series. So Sailor Moon fans, check out this week's episode. It was a little slow, but I think the fans of the old series are really going to appreciate it, and me, personally, I thought it was the best episode of the series. There were some scenes that could have been cut down a little bit. Otherwise, this was definitely a great one, so I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Check it out, guys. Really cool stuff. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked my review, please give it a thumbs up and like the video. Before you guys leave, please tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Sailor Moon Crystal. How did you feel about this one? What do you want to see from the rest of the Sailor Moon Crystal anime series? Before you guys leave, please subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already. You can do that by clicking on the channel icon right up here. And if you guys are feeling dangerous, you can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter.